finally made it to the spot. I drove my four-wheeler for about a half an hour up into the mountains, and I've been looking forward to this spot since maybe October last year. This area, I don't know if it has to do with the way it's situated in the mountains or what, but it has been snowed in for the better part of 6 months. Haven't had access to it until now. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Today is going to be even nicer. It's supposed to be in the 80s, I think, which is crazy for early May. The cellar is beautiful. It's square. It's stone lined. It's super far away from any other home sites that I know of. So maybe it was like a logging business, or maybe it was somebody who just wanted to be by themselves. Who knows? Little stream down the way that we'll go check out in a little while. But since this is my first time here, I'm going to spend some time right around the hole, see what maybe we can identify the age of the place. Well, we finally got our first very nice clean tone here. It's a nice solid 76. Let's see. Here it is, and it's a huge colonial coat button with the shank is missing. But it's got an interesting little dimple here in the front. Oh, you know what? That's a hole. That is interesting. I wonder if it broke out. Somebody was wearing it, and the whole thing broke out. Don't know. It's pretty cool though. All right. The more I'm staring at it, the more I'm unsure what it is. I'm still leaning towards a button, but it's got a weird shape to it. It's almost like a sand dollar. I don't know if you're familiar with what those look like, but completely flat on the bottom, but the top kind of comes up with a hump in the middle. I've never really seen a button like that. It's really sharp along the edge and thick in the middle. Not sure. Seems to be brass. Hole in the middle. Whatever it is, it's pretty cool. Alright, well, just got a mid-tone, and it seemed very shallow, so I didn't film it. I thought for sure it was going to be a shell casing from a bullet. And it appears to be a two-piece button, and I think there's I think there might actually be something on there. So let's clean it off together here. Let's see. That's an eagle. Check it out. Man, we just got here. So it looks like it just has a shield in the middle, which would designate just a general service button. So it doesn't look like we're going to get a back mark, so it's going to be hard to pinpoint the exact age of the thing, but so I'm going to guess mid to late 1800s, but that's a good sign. See if we can find something else. So I was just detecting along, and something shiny caught my eye. What would you suspect that is? Let's poke it. Ugh. That is pretty gross. You know, I have to assume that's some kind of fungus. Let's try not to step in it. Let's keep going. Alright, well I think we've got another one. It popped right out of the hole when I flipped the plug. This one has a shank intact. It looks like we're going to get a back mark, and it also has a general service eagle on the front. That is awesome. So now the question arises, I'm not too far from the other button, well, maybe 100 feet. Did it come off the same uniform? And if it did, why was he losing so many buttons? Or was the jacket or shirt or whatever this was on discarded, and we're going to find all the buttons? Pretty cool. Alright, well, it seems like we're in a pretty hot spot right here. Let's keep looking around and go slow and see what else we can find. Well, once again, I should have been filming the live dig, but the target was just a mid-tone. It's like a 60, and I thought for sure it was going to be another shell casing, but it's definitely not. That is a little round coin, and it is extremely thick. brush it off here. That is a United States Indian head set. It's not in too bad a shape either, really. I'm not going to be able to get a date off it out here, but that's 1860s, so it's right in the middle of where we were guessing based on those buttons. That's a good sign. I'm going to check around just in case there's more. You always got to check just in case it's a spill. But for the first coin today, that's a very good start. Very cool. Let's keep looking. Alright, we'll see. This is where that Indian just came out of. It's a 76. That's a 50. Let's start here. Well, that is not a coin. That's definitely a splitting awl for logging. Knocking down trees. I suspect this was that whole target. We'll see. Yep, that was it. I don't know, it must have been fell in a tree, dropped their coin. That's my guess. Alright, let's move on. Alright, well, we're a little ways from the home site right now, but there's this beautiful little babbling brook down here. And I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but there's actually like this little drop-off. Seems like a wonderful place to sit 200 years ago and watch the world go by. So we're going to take our time and kind of detect along that little ridge. See if we can find something. Alright, well, we are right down by the river, right along this ridge. And I found my first little evidence of people here. Check it out. That is a tiny little thimble. And you know, I've already spent some time trying to clean it off. I'm not entirely sure what that material is. Thus far, in my metal detecting career, I've only found brass ones. This doesn't seem to be brass. You notice that. I don't think it's silver though, because it doesn't shine up and it's pretty crumbly. So I'm wondering if this is pewter or some similar alloy, because you can see how well it shines up when I scratch it. It's pretty promising nonetheless. I could be wrong. It could be a very low value alloy of silver of some kind, but I'm going to say it's pewter right now. So that's quite old. It's pretty exciting. Let's keep going. Well, I just found a thing. It is brass, quite heavy. It looks like it was probably gold plated at one time, judging by that. Not sure. I suspect you'd hold it like that, whatever it was then attached to. Interesting anyway. Looks like it's actually kind of broken back here too. Oh, you know what? Maybe it was like that. Is it the handle to like a stein or something? I don't know. Pretty cool anyway. Alright, well, this was a very faint. It started out being a low 80s target, but now it's a high 80s target. Let's see what it might be here. See it. Holy smokes, I think that's a coin. Oh, nice. Jeez. Alright. Well, for sure that was going to be a button. Alright, we've got a pretty old one here. It's a George coin. You can see the bust facing left. And there is some text over here on the left, but I can't exactly make it out. And on the back is the Britannia. And the date would be down here, but it's currently obscured by some dirt. That's awesome find. It could also be a Connecticut. It depends on what the text over here is. And I can't quite... Oh, no, I can see it now. It's definitely a George II coin. It says Georgiev's on the left side. Cool, George II, so that's mid-1700s. That is nearly as old as it gets around here, so that's good news. See what else we can find. You know, a hot day like today, I only brought 2 bottles of water. It can be awfully tempting to dip one of my water bottles in there and just drink it straight out of the stream. You would think, you know, this is a beautiful, pristine mountain stream, no problem drinking it, but I know for a fact about 5 miles that way this stream is fed by a beaver pond, which is bad news for drinking water. Beaver fever. Eddie actually carries like a filtration device with him in his backpack, but I try to travel lightly so I don't have anything like that. So if I run out of water, I just got to be thirsty, I guess. Let's move on. You know, I'm just sitting down having a break, drinking some water. I get asked a lot in the comment section of my videos, why are there so many cellar holes like this where, you know, people picked up and left? You know, I don't know for sure. I'm sure everybody had their own reasons, but I have to assume, you know, early to late 1800s, bigger, better things were opening up out west, and it is hard to live up here. The winter is real long and real hard, and not a whole lot grows up here. Obviously we have the timber, but once the timber's gone, I don't think they really practiced sustainable forestry back then. We could probably grow potatoes and maybe sheep, some livestock stuff, but it was not an easy way of life. So imagine when the big push out west happened, you know, properties down in town opened up and everybody in the mountains either went west or went back down to town. And the only people up here now are loggers, essentially. All right, well, I've strayed away from the hole quite a bit, and I got a little mid-tone, and it winds up being a little brass thimble. Another thimble today. I mean, these were obviously a pretty important part of life, but this house seemed to go through them. The second one. All right, let's keep going. You probably can't hear that. There's a bunch of crows cawing off in the distance. They're probably yelling at something. I just got a beautiful brass target, and it ends up being half of a jingle bell, a crotal bell. It appears to be, it might be tomback. Shined up on that edge. The ground here is super saturated with water and muddy, so everything's kind of coming out real dirty, but beauty. Well, I know that there's a certain number of you who watch this channel that are constantly looking over my back shoulder trying to catch Sasquatch walking by. And you always point out these things, right? We've got a tree laying this way, and then we've got 1, 2, and then 3 trees stacked up like a teepee. What do you think? I know some of you think, but for the rest of you, is that Bigfoot? Or was that random coincidence? Or did I just do it? We may never know. Let's keep going. Alright, well, I just found something that I thought was a bullet, and then I started cleaning it off, and I'm not so sure. It's got this interesting, like, slit. The back appears to be hollowed out. Oh, it looks like the hole goes all the way through. Yeah, it does. Suggestions are welcome. I can't tell what it's made out of here. Looks like it's pewter. It's not lead at all. Interesting. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, well, it's starting to become more and more likely that we're at the home of the soldier. I can't say what war, probably Civil War, but just found that, which I found something similar last year, and I was a little bit ignorant as to what it was, but this, now that I know, is 1/2 of a buckle. Another piece would have gone in like this. I don't know if this particular one would have had an eagle on it, or a US, or whatever the design would have been, but that was a 1/2 of a buckle set. Actually, probably should check for the other half here. No, that's it. So that's pretty exciting. Unfortunately, I don't have any information, names. The site isn't even on map. So there's no way I'm going to be able to do research to try to figure out who it was that lived here. But I can mark it on my maps as, you know, a soldier, a veteran. A lot of people watch my videos and they assume that I'm in like battlefields. Vermont, I think maybe it had like 2 altercations. I don't even think that they were battles in the Civil War. We were too far north for that, but plenty of our people went down south to fight, and clearly one of them came home and strewn all of his stuff around his yard for whatever reason. But that's pretty cool. I'll display all of this stuff together at my home. You know, the 2 eagle buttons and the buckle. And I don't know, see if we can find some more stuff. Alright, well, we're calling it a day a little bit early today. Just a couple weeks ago, I was out detecting and I had to call it a day because it was so cold, and today I am so hot. It's got to be 85 maybe. And I ran out of water. I brought 2 bottles of water and I drank it all already, so I got to head home. But what an adventure today. It was so nice to go on a nice long drive in the 4-wheeler up into the mountains again. Finally, all the snow's, well, most of the snow is gone. Maybe you saw some of it on the trail, and actually the cellar hole has some snow in it still, but after today I have to assume most of it will be gone. And now we're going to have access to all those places I've been dreaming of all wintertime. So today was a pretty good day. Coin-wise, we found 2 cents, but they're pretty interesting cents. We have our King George II British halfpenny, which is 100 years older than everything else here, from what I can tell. I don't know, down by the river is where I found that, so who knows what was going on down there. We have our fat Indian head cent, which gives us a pretty narrow range of dates. 2 eagle buttons and our buckle, which altogether have got to be one of the coolest military-related finds I've found. Finding it all at the same home site, finding so much of a uniform is really cool. I wish we could put a name to this place. Maybe we still will. Mystery piece of pewter here. I don't know. It's not lead, it's not brass, it's got a hole in it. Your guess is as good as mine. Another mystery piece. We found lots of mystery pieces today with a hole in it. 2 thimbles, 3 other just kind of normal buttons. This is a tomback. This is kind of our standard mid-1800s style. The spinner to a kerosene or oil lamp, probably oil, judging by the age of everything else here. Our kind of, I don't know, mug handle. This is my huge pile of lead I found today. Half a crotal bell, 3 spoons and a knife, and a pretty blue piece of pottery. According to the forecast, the next week and a half, it's just supposed to be nice, even 50s and 60s. Ticks have been out all winter, but the black flies and mosquitoes are starting to come out, so people can probably smell me a mile away with the amount of bug spray I'm wearing. Well, anyway, I have a long drive home, and it's gonna be a fun one. I didn't show most of it, but there's some mud puddles that I was a little bit nervous driving through. So hopefully I make it home. But thanks for watching once again. I'll see you soon.